Hi, this is Brad Linder with Liliputing, and I have here a box from Samsung, which I believe should be a Samsung NC110 10-inch netbook. And inside the box, we've got another box and lots of styrofoam peanuts. Some review information. See if I can get this out without making too big a mess. Okay, so it's a fairly small, thin case here. Let's take a look at the specifications first. Looks like we've got Windows 7 Starter Edition, Intel Atom N455, so that's a single core processor with a 1.66 gigahertz clock speed and DDR3 memory support. 10-inch display, 1 gigabyte of memory, 250 gigabyte hard drive, 802.11bgn Wi-Fi, Bluetooth 3.0, and this particular version is black. This is a demo unit. Might not look exactly like what you would get with the retail version, but it should be pretty similar. So opening up the box, we've got a recovery media disk. Of course, there's no disk drive, so you would need a USB disk drive to use that. Safety instructions, user manual, etc. In the back here, we've got a box with power cable, battery, which is a 48 watt hour, 6600 milliamp hour battery, and the rest of the power adapter. Sort of standard laptop, definitely standard netbook size. The netbook itself feels very thin and light. So let's unwrap this and set it down there. Set these guys all aside for now and get a closer look. So, got a sort of new design here where it sort of tilts down in the back and goes to the front. It's pretty flat though, very thin overall. And you can see here we've got Ethernet, power, vent, USB cable on one, or USB port on one side. On the front we've got the SD card slot. Looks like some more vents, or maybe these are, well, here's the speakers on the bottom. Mic and headphone jacks, 2 more USBs, so there's a total of 3, and VGA, and a lock adapter. Something down here that looks like it could be a SIM card slot on some models, but I don't believe that's used on this one. Some plastic here. The bottom, we've got a RAM access port, and snap the battery off here. And that's about it. Let's go ahead and put the battery in. It's pretty lightweight for a battery with that kind of power for a 48 watt-hour battery. Yeah, overall, I mean, it definitely feels heavier with the battery, but overall it's pretty small. Opening it up, we've got matte display, which is something you don't see that often. Non-glare display, it says. Fast start, 3 times the battery lifespan, international warranty, and a narrow bezel. It's maybe a little bit narrower than usual, but it's pretty much par for the course. The touchpad has a sort of middle spot. It's one button that sort of rocks to the left and right, it feels like, instead of distinct buttons, but it's not too bad. And a nice wide area here. It's got a good feel to it. And it's very easy to detect the edges thanks to this sort of chromed spot and the fact that the touchpad is slightly lower than the rest of the palm rest area. Palm rest also has a matte finish, so it doesn't seem like it's going to attract fingerprints too easily. We've got a keyboard that has island style or chiclet style keys. They feel a little smaller than some keys on other keyboards that I've used, but very easy to detect with your fingers where keys begin and end. And page up and page home, arrow keys. The arrow keys are kind of small here, but overall it feels like it should be pretty easy to find what you're looking for over here without accidentally hitting the wrong button. So unlike some of the recent Acer netbooks and similar models that I've tested, where it might be hard to sort of feel where the difference is between the page up and the arrow up, it should be pretty easy here. Looks like there's still some plastic bits over here, but I won't deal with them too bad. I'll take them off later. Now in terms of that matte display, you can see that even though it's very sunny out, you're getting sort of a bright coloration here, but it's not reflecting. So you get a shadow as opposed to a reflection, which you would get with some other models there. Where's the power button? I guess the power button is... Well, this is kind of embarrassing. Oh, here we go. On the side. So you push that in, goes blue, and should boot up. You can see the lid actually comes down here a little bit so that the bezel feels a little bit smaller, doesn't rest too high. Some earlier netbooks, you know, the screen would start here and the whole thing would come up a little bit higher. I've got some status LEDs down here. It looks like a standard 1024 by 600 pixel display. And there you go. So that's the first boot and a first look at the Samsung NC110. Looks like the battery is pretty low here, so I'll go ahead and charge it up and tell you more about it later once I've had more time to experiment with it. Overall, nice design, compact design, decent feel, nice matte display, and yeah, so there you go. That's the first look at the Samsung NC110 Windows 7 Starter Edition netbook.